Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that echoes through the annals of history, was born on August 15, 1769, in the coastal town of Ajaccio on the island of Corsica. His early life was marked by the turbulent backdrop of a newly acquired French territory, where the struggles of identity and allegiance shaped his formative years. The son of a lawyer, Carlo Bonaparte, and Letizia Ramolino, Napoleon grew up in a family that was both ambitious and politically aware. His education began at a military academy in mainland France, where he quickly distinguished himself as a brilliant student, particularly in mathematics and military strategy. This early promise would soon be realized in ways that would alter the course of European history. As the flames of the French Revolution ignited in 1789, Napoleon found himself at a crossroads. The upheaval offered opportunities for those willing to seize them. Rising through the ranks of the military, he quickly garnered respect for his tactical genius. The siege of Toulon in 1793 marked a pivotal moment in his career, where his innovative strategies led to a decisive victory against royalist forces. This success propelled him into the spotlight, earning him the rank of general at a remarkably young age. The revolution had transformed the political landscape, and Napoleon was poised to take advantage of the chaos. By 1799, France was in disarray. The revolutionary ideals of liberty and equality had given way to instability and fear. Sensing the opportunity for a power grab, Napoleon orchestrated a coup d'état, overthrowing the Directory and establishing the consulate, with himself as first consul. This marked the beginning of his ascent to unprecedented power, as he began to consolidate control over France, implementing a series of reforms that would modernize the nation. The Napoleonic Code, introduced in 1804, reformed the legal system, establishing principles of equality before the law and secular governance that would influence legal systems worldwide. With France stabilized under his rule, Napoleon crowned himself emperor in 1804, a symbolic act that underscored his authority and ambition. The coronation took place in Notre Dame Cathedral, where he famously placed the crown upon his own head, signaling that his power was self-derived, not granted by the church or any other authority. This moment was emblematic of his character, bold, assertive, and unyielding in his pursuit of greatness. Napoleon's military campaigns, known as the Napoleonic Wars, began in earnest shortly after his coronation. His strategic brilliance was on full display as he led France to a series of stunning victories against coalitions of European powers. The Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, often regarded as his greatest victory, showcased his ability to outmaneuver larger forces through clever tactics and meticulous planning. With the defeat of Austria and Russia, Napoleon established French dominance over much of Europe, reshaping borders and creating a new political order. However, his ambitions extended beyond mere military conquest. He sought to spread the principles of the revolution across Europe, promoting ideas of meritocracy and nationalism. He established the Confederation of the Rhine, a collection of German states that would serve as a buffer against potential threats from Austria and Prussia. Yet, as his empire expanded, so too did the resistance against him. Nationalistic sentiments began to stir in the occupied territories, where the imposition of French rule was met with resentment. The ill-fated invasion of Russia in 1812 marked a turning point in Napoleon's fortunes. Underestimating the vastness of the Russian landscape and the resolve of its people, he led his grand army into a disastrous campaign. The harsh winter, combined with scorched earth tactics employed by the Russians, decimated his forces. By the time he retreated, only a fraction of the initial army returned to France. This catastrophic loss weakened his grip on power and emboldened his enemies. In 1814, facing a coalition of European powers united against him, Napoleon was forced to abdicate the throne. He was exiled to the island of Elba, a mere speck in the Mediterranean, where he would spend nearly a year contemplating his legacy. Yet the indomitable spirit that defined him would not allow him to fade into obscurity. In a remarkable escape, he returned to France in March 1815, rallying support and reclaiming the throne for a brief period known as the 100 Days. His return sparked a renewed fervor among his supporters, but it also reignited the fears of the European powers. The Battle of Waterloo in June 1815 would become synonymous with his downfall. Facing a coalition led by the Duke of Wellington and Prussian General Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher, Napoleon fought valiantly but was ultimately defeated. The loss marked the end of his rule and the final chapter of his storied military career. After his defeat, Napoleon was exiled once again, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Here he lived out his days in relative isolation, reflecting on his life and legacy. Despite the distance from the world that had once revered him, he continued to engage in discussions about politics and history, dictating his memoirs and shaping his narrative for posterity. He died on May 5, 1821, leaving behind a complex legacy that would inspire both admiration and criticism. Napoleon Bonaparte's life was a tapestry woven with ambition, brilliance, and tragedy. His rise from modest beginnings to the heights of power was marked by extraordinary achievements and equally profound failures. He reshaped Europe, influencing the course of history in ways that are still felt today. His legacy is a testament to the complexities of leadership and the enduring struggle for power, reminding us that greatness often walks hand in hand with hubris. In the end, Napoleon remains a figure of fascination, a man whose dreams of empire were as grand as the shadows they cast across the world.